Hey, my name's James Nicholson and welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I want to talk about the probability, the likelihood, what can we expect from the Bank of England tomorrow. You see, we've got an interest rate meeting and we could be in for a surprise. Some of you that watch the channel say interest rates should go up. That makes logical sense if you think about it. The main goal of the Bank of England is to keep inflation below that 2% target. And inflation's been rising. We're at 3.6%, and it's probable that it could go up a little bit more. And by the end of the year, we're still likely to be above 3%, even though we've got quite a bit of the year to go. So that makes sense that you'd put interest rates up. But on the flip side, you've got a real problem at the moment with unemployment going up. 7 months out of 8, unemployment has increased in the UK, and that's not good. Obviously, we can't do that too long because the economy is going to absolutely crater. If people don't have jobs, they're not going to spend, then we're going to go into a recession. So that's a consideration of the Bank of England as well. So in this video, I'm going to talk about what I think is going to happen tomorrow. And I want you to tell me in the comments. Maybe you're a regular commenter on this channel. Maybe you don't comment very often. But tell me, do you think they will increase rates? Do you think they'll hold rates? Or do you think they'll cut rates? And do you think if they do cut, would it be 0.25%? Or do you think they'll go as much as 0.5%? Or could there be some sort of shock in here where we go as much as 1%? Let me know in the comments what you think. And before we jump into this, if you're new around here and you haven't done already, do make sure you subscribe to the channel over there and hit that bell notification. We've just hit 45,000 subscribers. And by subscribing, you'll get all the latest house price news, interest rate news, property investing news, and much, much more. And the last thing I'd like to ask you to do is smash like, tickle like, do something to the like button. That helps with the YouTube algorithm. And that's really helped the channel grow to get to where it is. So thanks to everyone that does that. So, interest rates. It's a divisive topic. There's loads of you people that watch the channel and you say we should be cutting rates. We should be cutting faster than where we are because the Bank of England are too slow. They act really, really slowly, and that causes more problems long term. And some of you are saying we should be increasing rates at the moment. You get frustrated because savings rates are going down. You think inflation's going up. I think what's going to happen is that we're going to get a cut. And the media think that as well. I think the high probability is that we're going to cut 0.25%. And I'll tell you why. Because the Bank of England, while they'll never come out and say, we're going to cut interest rates. They never come out and say that. That's something that they don't do. The Americans do that. The Federal Reserve will constantly talk about cutting rates. Bank of England, they're less likely to do that. But they do hint at things. They do imply things. And that is what's been happening over the last few weeks. You see, there's 9 members of the monetary policy, and they're the people that do the vote, that discuss whether interest rates should go up or down. Obviously, it's an odd number, so there's always an outcome. And I think this is what's going to happen. I think that you're going to get the majority of people are going to say that we should cut by 0.25%. I think you're going to get a couple of people that say we should cut by 0.5%. So it'll be interesting to see the vote breakdown and see if I'm right on this. And I think you're going to get 2 people that will say that we should hold interest rates. I think that's what's going to be the breakdown. And I think it will be 0.25% cut. And that is because I think the majority of people just want that cautious downward momentum. And that is what Andrew Bailey, who's in charge of the Bank of England, has been saying in interviews, that interest rates are in a downward momentum right now. And all the stuff that you would normally want interest rates higher to stop aren't happening. We're not overspending at the moment. We are being cautious. People are saving money when they can. And you've got a lot of problems that are in the economy underlying at the moment. You've got unemployment that's going up. You've got the GDP that's going down. Everyone just feels like they've got no money because of the inflation in the last few years. And I think ultimately that is what the Bank of England's focusing on now, is the employment market. And that is what they've been saying here. They have been saying for a long time, we're also looking at the GDP figures and the employment. And that is ultimately where this decision's going to end up. And if the market, so the markets right now are predicting that the Bank of England will cut with more than 90% certainty. So it's pretty much nailed on that they're going to cut. If the Bank of England were looking at that and they were saying, hey, everyone's saying we're going to cut, we're not likely to cut, because they're obviously having discussions amongst themselves in between meetings. If they felt that they weren't going to be cutting rates, then they would hint and imply in interviews. They've already done that before. So there's been times where the media thought, yep, Bank of England's going to cut in the next meeting, and then Andrew Bailey will be in the Times, he'll be in the Guardian, he'll be interviewed at universities, and he will hint and imply that we're not ready for that, or we need to hold for longer to see how things work. And that isn't happening. They're not correcting the market. They're not saying, look, this isn't what's going to happen. So that's why I think you can be certain, pretty much 100% confident, that that is what's going to happen. And look, the other thing that's important to understand, and this is really the most important thing that the Bank of England considers when cutting rates, is where am I on the day that they want to cut? And right now, I'm in Carcassonne in France. This is where we're staying. This beautiful property here. We're staying here on 50 acres of land with all our family at the moment. And last time I was here, they cut. So maybe it's a tradition that the Bank of England wait for me to go to France and then they cut interest rates. That could be their main primary focus. Hopefully that's true. And if it is, I'll come back again this year at some point, just so we can get another interest rate cut. I'm obviously joking that on that, but I'm sure someone will comment as if I'm not. But yeah, I think that this is the main problem in the UK, in my opinion, is the unemployment going up. Those people are not going to spend in the economy once they're unemployed. That's going to cause more problems on businesses. I think the trade war stuff is kind of getting figured out now, for at least for the UK market. Obviously it's quite high, the tariffs that the Europeans have got. Hopefully those businesses don't really suffer and they just pass that on to American consumers, the tariff costs, because if the Europeans get less orders, that means they might buy less from British companies. Maybe we have parts of their products that they need from us. So it'll be interesting to see how that pans out. But I think all of the data shows the economy is slowing, the unemployment is rising, people aren't overspending. All the inflation at the moment is supply side, meaning it's energy costs are very, very high. You can't control that. I can't control that. Keeping rates high isn't going to fix that in any way. So I think they are going to cut on Thursday, tomorrow. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Do make sure as well you do smash like on the video, and if you didn't grab a copy of our new ebook, which is how to get the best mortgage deal in 2025, more than 1,500 people, which is crazy, have already grabbed that. That will help you find the best broker, teach you when's the best time to start the process of remortgaging, how to find the best deals, because they're not all on the comparison sites, and lots more, and it's free. So grab a copy of that while you're here. Do check out all the other content as well on the channel, including this video right here.